What's a quote that permanently changed the way you look at things? Use what talents you possess. The woods will be very silent if no birds sang there except those that sang best. Henry Van Dyke. There's a Buddhist quote, "Don't believe everything you think. People don't think about you as much as you imagine they do." A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. John Shedd. The first draft is just you telling yourself the story. Terry Pratchett. I'm not sure why this quote struck me so hard, but it completely changed the way I approach writing. Just get your ideas down and run on sentences and asides to yourself and loads of, at parts you haven't figured out yet. It took me more than 30 years to realize that a first draft isn't just a rough version of the final draft. It's a map for yourself, and no one else. Resentment is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die. When I became a man, I put away childish things, including the fear of childishness and the desire to be very grown up. C.S. Lewis. There's not a lot of things worth caring about. Told to me by a close friend, and it really helped me get over my insecurities and self-consciousness. It's possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not weakness. That is life. Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Socializing is just like any skill. You need to practice before you're good at it. My mum, comforting me when I was struggling to make friends. Edit. Thanks for the awards. I assure you, next time I see my mum I'll tell her about your compliments. The pain I feel now is the happiness I had before. That's the deal. C.S. Lewis. I wish it need not have happened in my time, said Frodo. So do I, said Gandalf, and so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. It's easy to fool someone, it's hard to convince them that they've been fooled. Honey, I hope it's the worst thing that ever happens to you. From my dad when I was complaining about something. He probably didn't intend for it to be deep or anything, but it puts things in perspective. I think of it all the time. You train people how to treat you, unconsciously or not. I visited Pearl Harbor this week, and the one that struck me was, there were many acts of heroism that day, not all of them recorded. It reminds me that even when nobody is watching, it's still important to put forward your best. You can't blame a blind person for being blind. You just don't let them drive your car. Not sure the exact quote, but don't play chess with a pigeon. It'll just knock over the pieces, shit all over the board, and then strut around like it won the game. In reference to arguing with unreasonable people who refuse to or are incapable of considering viewpoints outside their own and employ logical fallacies to justify their position. Edit. Apparently it's attributed to a guy named Scott D. Weizenhofer in a comment he made in a book review on Amazon. Everyone is somebody else's weirdo. End of BoJack Season 2. It gets easier. Every day it gets easier, but you gotta do it every day. That's the hard part. You cannot convince people to love you. This is an absolute rule. No one will ever give you love because you want him or her to give it. Real love moves freely in both directions. Don't waste your time on anything else. Cheryl Strayed. Just because you lost me as a friend doesn't mean you gain me as an enemy. I still want to see you eat, just not at my table. If everyone around you is an asshole, maybe you are the asshole. There are two paths you can go by, but in the long run there's still time to change the road you're on. Led Zeppelin. There's a lot of narcissism in self-hatred. David Foster Wallace. The only thing we learn from history is that we learn nothing from history. Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. We are just an advanced breed of monkeys on a minor planet of a very average star. But we can understand the universe. That makes us something very special. Stephen Hawking. Assume whoever you're listening to knows something you don't. I wish there was a way to know you were in the good, old days, before you've actually left them. Andy from The Office. Simple. Better safe than sorry. Don't put off the important in favor of the urgent. I say, beware of all enterprises that require new clothes, and not rather a new wearer of clothes. Henry David Thoreau. Don't die until you're done. Warren Zevon. Huo jie ju shi wei la huo jie er bu shi wei la huo jie ji de xian mi yuan yin. The point of living is to live, there is no other reason. Yu hua huo jie. Yu hua, from the novel To Live. Draw a monster. Why is it a monster? I was the victim of a series of accidents. As we all are. Kurt Vonnegut, The Sirens of Titan. We accept the love we think we deserve. Perks of being a wallflower. If life gives you lemons, you should make lemonade. And try to find someone whose life has given them vodka, and have a party. Ron, tater salad, white. I can do anything but I can't do everything. You're going to make a lot of people mad doing what's right for you. There is no such thing as multitasking, only rapid switching. We are the universe trying to understand itself. When you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. God on Futurama. No matter how many times I may stumble, I will rise each time a better man. The most important step a man can take is the next one. It's always the next one. People often confuse stress with responsibility. This too shall pass. From my therapist, don't know where she got it. When you're the ocean, you don't have to be afraid of the waves. I remember this when feeling overwhelmed. Hurt people hurt people. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. Animal Farm. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing. The last of the human freedoms to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Viktor Frankl.